everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2024, and I'm excited to show you another fun fold. It seems like our Mondays have been fun fold Mondays, so today we are going to do a split panel fun fold, and I'm going to use the Bright Skies bundle to do that. So if you're with me, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll enjoy what you see and hit that subscribe button. And if you're here with me live or catching the replay, thank you so much for your support. I love having you here with me and sharing with you. So I am going to flip this camera down and we're going to get started with our split panel fun fold. So all right, so hopefully you can see and hear me well. I'm going to straighten out the camera a little bit. Today, I am using the Bright Skies stamp set and dies. This is a photopolymer stamp set. Some really different greetings. I love the different fonts for them. And I like these designs in the clouds. And we're going to be using those in the sun and the flowers. So a lot of what's in this whole stamp set we're going to be using today. And look at these beautiful dies. You have some really detailed ones, like a sun and a cloud, but then you have these that cut out the stamps images. So fun stamp set. So let's move this off to the side and we're going to get started. So very easy fun fold, very little that you need to do it. We need 3 pieces of cardstock. I am using Lemon Lolly, and these 2 pieces are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So they are your normal size for A2 card. Now, the other piece we're using is an 11-inch by 3-inch piece of basic white, and we need to score this. So I'm going to grab my trimmer, and I have my arm opened up, and let's bring this down so you can see it. We're going to score this at 2 and at 6 1/2. So let's go ahead and do that so you can see how we're going to fold this. Make sure, remember, you have 2 blades on this trimmer. One is for cutting. The lighter one is for scoring. So we're going to score at 2. And we're going to score here at 6 1/2. So right about there. And let's give it a good score. And we're done with this. So we can get this out of the way. Now, of these 2 pieces, the Lemon Lolly, one is the front, one is the back. This is going to be the inside of your card, this 3 by 11-inch piece. So in order to do this, we are going to fold the top fold, which is the 2-inch, into a valley. So I'm going to fold up into the valley, and I'm just going to burnish this with my bone folder. I want a nice crisp fold. Now I'm going to fold into the hill here and make a hill. So with this one, again, I'm going to burnish. Now you're probably wondering how we're going to put all this together. Well, let me show you that. This is how the inside of your card is going to open up. That's why it's called a split panel. You have a back panel and a front panel. So the inside here, this basic white is going to adhere to the center of this black or this back panel, the Lemon Lolly. So I'm going to use my green glue or multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to adhere this all the way around. And then I want to make sure to get this back panel centered so that I'm even all the way around. So on the sides, top and bottom. And that looks pretty good. So just make sure it's straight and give it a good press. Now I do have some, I did get some glue on here, And I am using my glass mat, which has that chamois I love. It says I can just wipe off the ink or glue and keep working. Now, to adhere the top panel, we're going to put glue on here. So, and then we're going to add that panel, the lemon lolly panel, right on top of this little fold. So I'm just putting the multi-purpose glue on the fold. And then we're going to line these up. And I find it easier to pick them up and give them a tap so my bottoms and tops are even, and then give it a good press. And then to open it, here's your split panel fun fold. So there's that. Now we're going to decorate it. And the fun thing about this is you can do anything you want for the cover. You can use designer series paper. You can stamp. I chose to do an embossed panel. And I'm using the raindrops. This is going to retire. But I thought it would be fun to use before May 1st. And I'm going to go ahead and add this right on to the front panel of our card base. So I just think that's the cutest embossing folder. And let's make sure it's pretty even all the way around, which looks good. And then give it a good press. Now, you know that I always use or try to use multi-purpose glue with embossing folders because the backs of them are uneven with the indentations and the debossed areas. So that way I get a good adherence for that. Now we're going to decorate with some of these stamps. So I'm going to move the dies out of the way. And I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white. And this is just a 4x5 piece, whatever I had left over. And I am using my like stamping buddy or my Misty. And this is by Sweet Petunia. And I'm using it because these are large stamps. And I want to be able to get a really good stamped image. So what I love about this Misty is it's very compact. I have a magnet that I'm just going to adhere up here. And you can see I've put my cardstock right down in the very bottom corner so that I know where it needs to be. When you use the Misty, it's very similar to when we had the Stamparatus. You are able to restamp without having to, you know that it's going to be in the exact same spot and you don't have to reposition anything. It's positioned for you. So I'm going to put my big stamp here. I am going to put a small stamp here, a small cloud. And I'm going to do a sun. And I have them all spread out because remember, I have to be able to get dies around here to be able to die cut these out. So I'm just going to lightly press down and pick up my stamps. All right. And then I'm going to make sure I have my cardstock back in the corner. And we're going to get started adding some ink. So we're going to start off with this very large cloud here. And I'm going to put a stamp pad underneath this plastic cover so that I have some leverage as I'm inking. And I chose to use Azure Afternoon for this big stamp. I just think it's such a beautiful color and bright. So I want to ink this up. And I want to get good coverage. Now, I'm not so sure that I will get with this big of a stamp the coverage I want initially, which is why I'm using the Misty so that I can go back over if I choose to do that. So let's go ahead, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to bring this back over, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a good press. Now, oftentimes I'll use my Chucky tool because of my wrist, and it gives me a little bit more leverage to get a good pressure on that stamp. So let's pull this back up. And even though it moved, we know where we had it. It was right in the corner here. So I'm just going to put it back on. Now, I would like to add some more color to this. I'm not really happy with how that's stamped, or that I wanted more color. So let's go ahead and I'm going to re-ink, which is why we use a tool like this, because it allows us to re-ink and get a good stamped image, especially for these bigger images. And I'm going to go back down. All right, it's lined up, and I'm just going to give it a good press. Okay, that looks great. Now I am going to take this stamp off because I don't want it to go back down on that stamp. I'm happy with that image. And I'm going to close up the Azure Afternoon. And now I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue for the second cloud. So let me bring that over, and we're going to ink that cloud up. And this one is more like a diagonal stripe. So, and it's smaller. So I think it's going to ink up a little bit better on the first try. And I'm just going to grab my Chucky and give it a good press. Oh, and you can see, because, and let me show you what happened. I have the magnet right over where this other stamp is, so that my cloud, part of it, did not hit the paper. So be careful when you're doing that, putting that on, that it doesn't get in the way and impede your being able to stamp. So I'm just going to flip that back down now that I move the magnet, and go over it with my Chucky, and there's a great stamped image. So there's our second cloud. Okay, now we're going to do the sun, and we'll be done with our stamping. Now, you know me, I tend to stamp these ahead of time and die cut them out to save you a little bit of time here. So we're going to ink up this one and do our sun. Now the sun, we're using Lemon Lolly, which is a really light yellow. It's a really pretty yellow though, but it's likely we're going to have to stamp this a second time, and that's okay. You can see if I bring it up a little bit, not real good coverage in the center there, which again is why we use our Misty. And now we're ready to restamp. So go back down. And that looks much better. Let's pick that up and get a good look at these images. I'm going to move this off to the side. So you can see the sun and the two clouds. Now I went ahead and I did die cut these out. So let me close up these stamp pads so I'm not wearing them. And this is how they cut out. So they're really, really pretty. There's our two clouds and our sun, and that's what we're going to use to decorate the front of our card. So let's bring our card base back in. And the big cloud I thought would look really cute up in here, and then to pop up the little one, and maybe even pop up the sun, or put the sun down and pop up the two clouds. Let's do that. So I'm going to put my sun right up here in that upper right-hand corner. I think this stamp set is so cute, and it's really versatile. Great for get well, for thinking of you. Let someone know you're thinking of them and they brighten your day. So we're going to pop this one up with dimensionals. So I'm going to bring in my large ones, and I'm not going to cut them today because this is pretty big. And we're just going to take these off and put them right on. And I'm going to use my pick tool to take the backs off. That just seems to work best for me. You use what you have. And let's put this big cloud right here, right in the middle. Now the little cloud I thought would be cute to pop it up on top of the large one, overlapping. Now, because this has dimensionals and is lifted up, we aren't going to put a dimensional up on the top because otherwise it'll kind of lay there kind of wonky and it isn't going to look very appealing. So I am going to use dimensionals on the bottom, but then you can either take a little bit of glue and put it on the top, or you can take a glue dot. I'm just going to put a dab of glue right up here at the top because I have it handy here. All right. And we're going to put this right here. All right. So we have the sun, we have some clouds. I think we should add some flowers because with sun and water, what do you get? You get growth. It's April here in Cleveland, and we have had our share of April showers already. So I thought it would be fun to add some flowers to this. So there are in this die set some very distinctive stamps or dies that we'll cut out. And that's what I chose to do for the leaves. So these are in soft seafoam. You can see how dainty they are. And then there are also some detailed flowers, and I cut that out in Highland Heather. And then I did the tulips, which is this die, in the lemon lolly. And we're just going to go ahead and attach those. Now, the stems, I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm going to grab my tweezers and just going to add a touch of glue on the ends. And this would be a perfect die cut to use a needlepoint glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to take a mini dimensional and we're going to pop the flower up so that it has some dimension to it. So let's do that. And we're going to do a tulip, 2 tulips, and I don't know what the other one is, but it is purple. So we'll just say our purple flower. So there's our tulip. And we're going to add another bit of glue here, right in here. So I hope you all had a good weekend and had some time for yourself and some crafting. We had a busy weekend, and I have company from out of town staying with me. So actually, I'm not here with you live tonight. This is pre-recorded. But I will be back with you live on Thursday, and I miss you all. But if you leave me a comment or if you have questions, I promise I will get back to you later tonight and get those answered for you. So here's our little purple flower, and now let's add one last, because things always look better in uneven amounts, so I try to go with 3s rather than 2, and we're just going to add this one. So just very simple, easy card. And we'll pop up our last little tulip, and then we'll add our greeting. So here's this one. All right. Now for our greeting is "You brighten my days." And it could even go across the clouds. It could go down to the side. I'm going to put mine right across the clouds there. And we could cut it out. I could fussy cut that and put it in here. But I really like to see the rain falling. So I am going to fussy cut it. Let's just kind of do that on the sly here, or spur the moment. So remember, if you're fussy cutting, you want to just take your scissors and move your paper, not the scissors. And you will get a nice smooth cut. So I'm a slow fussy cutter. And I'm working on my fussy cutting over the last several weeks, trying to get better at it because it's not something I've typically liked to do, because I wasn't very good at it. But it's like anything else you do, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And so that old adage, practice makes perfect. I'm not sure if it makes it perfect, but it does make it better. So let's do that here. And I'm just going to go right across here. Now this is straight, so I can cut. And then as I get to the Y, I'm going to turn it so I have a nice smooth edge. There we go. Now this, now that it's fussy cut, would fit really cute right in here with some dimensionals. So that's exactly what we're going to do. It cut out really well. So let's put one here and then one over here and one here. Now, if you're new to stamping and you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like a catalog, just hit that button up in the bottom right corner of the banner, and it'll take you over where you can email me. If you want a catalog, please make sure to put your address in there. I get a lot of emails saying, please send me a catalog, but then no address. So make sure to put your address in there and I will get a catalog out to you. I would love to have the opportunity to earn your business. There's our front. Now let's do the inside. So I'm going to open this up flat. And to do the inside, I'm going to stamp a greeting. And we're going to use the one that says sprinkled with love. So it says, you brighten my cloudy days and sprinkled with love. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to ink this up. Now I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And this is a new stamp, so I want to make sure I get good coverage there. So let's go ahead and give it a good press. Now, to decorate the inside of this, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bring in some soft sea foam. Let me grab it. And we're going to stamp some leaves down here at the bottom, just like we have on our cover, top of the card here. Let's push this up so you can see. And I'm just going to stamp a couple leaves. I'm going to stamp one here and one here. And I'm going to go over to this side and just stamp a single one. All right. And we're going to add our flowers. Now for the inside of this one, I'm going to switch them up. I'm going to use Highland Heather for the tulips, and I'm going to use the Lemon Lally for the flower petals. So let me grab my tulips, and we're going to stamp right here. It's nice, and you can see I didn't get good coverage on that one, but because I'm using a photopolymer stamp, I can go right back in over it and look at that. We've got great coverage. Give it a good press. And now we need to stamp our other flower. Well, I'm just going to do all tulips because the other one I think is too big. That's too big. I don't like that one. So we're going to clean this off, and then I'm going to stamp in Lemon Lally. So the inside's going to be all tulips. Okay. Now I'm going to add, just remember we have those clouds in the front and we're saying it's sprinkled with love. So there's this really cute stamp that is raindrops. Look at that coming down. So I'm going to bring back in my balmy blue and we're going to stamp the raindrops right over the greeting, right over those flowers. So it looks like the rain is coming down on our flowers, and it is sprinkling them with love. So let me close this up and get all of this out of the way. And we have our split panel fun fold. So let me bring it open. Look at the front of that. Isn't that cute? And then we bring it open and we have the flowers and the sprinkled with love. So quick, easy fun fold. Let me bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed today's fun fold. I think we've gotten in a habit now of doing fun folds on Monday. So for now, I'm going to stick with it, but I'll be back with you on Thursday. If you follow me on Facebook, this Wednesday is mystery stamping. I will be posting today both on YouTube and on the Facebook pages. Clue number 1, which will give you the supplies that you need to get prepared and pre-cut. And on 7:30 on Wednesday night, we're going to do mystery stamping. And so I'm looking forward to being with you. And then I'll be back with you for our regular online card class on Thursday night at 7. So have a great week. Stay safe. Well, I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you soon.